who built ice stupas to store water in the deserts. He is the man who built solar power schools for children in remote Himalayan areas. He is the man who stood shoulder to shoulder with Indian Army helping soldiers to survive at sub-zero temperatures. And he is the man who is inspiration for Amir Khan's Pungsuk Wangdu in 3 Idiots and the character Kosaksi Pasapugal in Nanban. And today, he is the same man who is behind the bars in Jodhpur jail facing the charge under the National Security Act NSA, which is one of the crucial acts meant for the terrorist and anti-national threats. So this is not just an arrest, it's a message to everyone who dares to question the power. Who is he? What has happened? Let's get all the answers. Welcome to Youturn and this is Nandini Madheshwaran. Youturn is an independent media that has been fighting to combat fake news and false information that has been widely spread in social media. If you find our work worth it, please scan the QR code to support us, and if you find difficulties in scanning the QR code, please check the link in the description called the Fact Check Initiatives, and by touching the link, you can support us there too. On September 26, Wangchuk was arrested and transported about more than 1000 kilometers away from his hometown Ladakh. Is he a terrorist or an anti-nationalist? No, he is a mechanical engineer, an educational reformer and a climate activist. He founded SECMOL, that is Students' Educational and Cultural Movement of Ladakh, a school for students who failed in conventional education but had greater potential. And as I said before, he built water stupas, that is artificial glaciers, which is used to store water for their villages. And he created solar power shelters for the Indian Army people for reducing the diesel use and improving the living conditions of the soldiers in such high altitudes. And of course, he is a teacher who trains more than thousands of students of his own hometown. He believes in peace, science and self-sustainability. That's all. He doesn't want power at all. He wants all is justice for his people. So what was his crime? Why had he arrested? For the last few years, Wangchuk had been fighting for the Ladakhis for their basic rights, and that is his major crime. He started peaceful marches, hunger strikes and awareness campaigns for the people. He always insisted the government to give Ladakh a protection under the 6th schedule of the constitution, so that the local people could have their job security, could protect their lands and could protect their culture from outside exploitation. He also spoke strongly about climatic change and how uncontrollable projects could destroy the Himalayas, and everything he did only for the people, only for the environment and only for nation's future. So what is exactly the demand of Ladakh people? This has not just started yesterday or the last month. It goes back to 1931 when the Maharaja of Kashmir Hari Singh set up a constitutional assembly which has about 75 seats. Ladakh, then a district, was allocated only 2 seats, and those 2 seats were filled by the nomination. In 1981, a protest arose demanding the abrogation of Article 370, in which Buddhist Ladakhis wanted to separate from the Muslim-dominated Jammu and Kashmir. Either they wanted to be a separate state or they wanted to be united with Jammu but not Kashmir. And over 2 Buddhists were killed during the protest. And after a lot of protest, Article 370 was finally removed in 2019 and Ladakh became a union territory. People started to celebrate and they thought it would be a new development. They were going to have a new roads and new job opportunity. Even Wangchuk appreciated the move and congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi for finally giving Ladakh a separate identity. But soon people realized something. Without the state legislature or the 6th schedule protection, this was not fulfilled. What is the 6th schedule protection? It is something that the tribal areas are to be administered as the autonomous districts or autonomous regions by themselves. But soon people found that all decisions were coming from Delhi and not from Ladakh. Lands that belonged to those people were given to the outside companies, and the job meant for them were gone for others. And the tribal population feared that they would completely lose their culture and lands forever. And Sonam Wangchuk became their voice. He led a lot of protests, fasts, public campaigns demanding the Ladakh as a statehood and inclusion under the 6th schedule of constitution, which would protect their land and culture. His message was very simple. We don't want violence. We just want rights. We want our mountains to survive. This voice grew too soon and too powerful and inconvenient for those who are in powers. On September 10, Wangchuk had started a hunger strike seeking statehood for Ladakh, which he had already done for many times, and he said that it would continue for 35 days. But on September 24, thousands of people gathered and suddenly violence broke out. The government and BJP office were set on fire, police were attacked and hundreds of people were injured, and ultimately 4 people were killed during the protests. The government immediately blamed as external influences and provocation. After 2 days of this protest, Sonam Wangchuk was arrested under the National Security Act. NSA is not just an ordinary act, it is one of the harshest laws of India. It allows authorities to detain a person without trial for up to a year if they are considered as a national security threat. Wangchuk was taken hundreds of kilometers away to Jodhpur jail in Rajasthan, away from his people, away from his mountain and his family. But what did the government claim? The government say that Wangchuk incited unrest and provoked and influenced youth to rebel against the authority. But there is no evidence of him calling for violence. In fact, just hours before his arrest, he posted some of the videos in social media urging the protesters to remain silent and follow Gandhian methods.
Nepal la yongsteoto, Bangladesh la yongsteoto, Sri Lanka yongsteoto, miman se gyurja kyonga noktene, chik shina tene kyonga nok samaragyale. Nyer rewate ochuat a unzoxla te healing nam danam doanam te manpa Ladakh sena ma jive gyurja yong jive phogyur. Peaceful revolution.
So, what exactly makes him as a threat to national security? Is it his speeches or his questions against the government? Because if asking for constitutional rights is anti-national, then what remains of democracy itself? Not only this, many allegations were made against him and even his FCRA license, that is Foreign Currency Regulation Act of SECMOL, was cancelled. Police alleged that foreign NGOs are backing for his campaigns, but SECMOL is a locally registered educational NGO. Government claims that he is anti-national, terrorist and whatever the words that tell him as a dangerous person. They also say that he is one of the person who turns the people against the system. But where's the proof? His wife wasn't given any official reasons for his detention. Now she is fighting in the Supreme Court for his release. We have already seen this before, haven't we? If farmers are protesting, they are called as anti-national. And if students were protesting, they are called as urban Naxals. And now an environmentalist, a climate activist, an educational is now called as national threat. This pattern keeps on continuing. Anyone who questions the power or stands with people is always getting silenced. And that's how democracy dies, not with the bombs but with fears. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.